amateurs. Let the pros show you how to make money. General Manager Al DeMarco, a regular contributor on Fox Sports, MSNBC, and Comcast Sports TV, brings over 25 years of handicapping experience to the table. CEO Steve Budin, the author of Bets, Drugs, and Rock and Roll, is the man responsible for creating the online betting industry. Together, they lead the world's largest online sports handicapping community, your number one source for winners.
Can Arizona, one of 3 undefeated teams here as we enter Week 4 of the NFL season, improve to a perfect 4-0 straight up and against the spread with the win and cover at home against Miami today? Can the New Orleans Saints, who would have thunk that they would be one of 2 teams still searching for their first win this season, can they break off and get a win today? At Green Bay, where the Packers are looking to rebound after getting screwed at Seattle on Monday. Hi, everyone. Al DeMarco here along with Steve Budin, and welcome to the Week 4 NFL edition of the Countdown to Kickoff program. We are proud to be joining you here once more for the 6th consecutive season as we break down all of your NFL games for a point spread perspective. I've been a sports handicapper for over 25 years. I used the experience I gained originally in my first career as a sports reporter. What I learned from being on the field around coaches, players, etc., that's really shaped my handicapping philosophy over the years, and I've won 9 of the last 10 seasons in the NFL and college football combined. Steve Budin, on the other hand, son of a bookmaker, former bookmaker himself, and really the guy that created what you now know as the offshore sports betting industry. You have a totally different perspective when we break down these games.
That's right, Al. You use your opinion, and when I come to laying my money down on the line, I throw my opinion to the side. I use a little discipline, and I turn to my crews and my syndicates, the same guys I've been using for the last 5 years, and I got to tell you something, the Baltimore crew, which is my number 1 NFL crew, started off this year already, 4 50-dime winners in a row, and you ask yourself, can they continue to win? And the answer is yes, because we've been watching them do it now for 5 years.
Absolutely. We'll talk more about the Baltimore crew in just a moment. And in fact, guys, in about 90 seconds, Steve and I are going to tell you about a brand new fantasy football league contest in conjunction with DraftStreet.com, where the winner is going to claim $300 of my money for free out of a $500 pool. We've got all the details coming up in 90 seconds. Steve, let's talk about the first game. New England taking on Buffalo. The Patriots, of course, losing in the final seconds against Baltimore on the road here on Sunday night. Meanwhile, the Bills managed to snap an 8-game road losing streak with the win at Cleveland, 24-14. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 3 touchdowns in that contest, but it was a costly win for Buffalo. NFL's leading ground gainer coming into that contest, C.J. Spiller, suffering a shoulder injury. He is out, but they may get Fred Jackson back here today. However, Tashard Choice, the washout of the Cowboys, performed admirably off the bench last week with 20 carries, 91 yards. Question here, of course, is, are the Patriots going to be ready to rebound big time after really having a win snatched from them at Baltimore on Sunday?
Yeah, I mean, I look at this line, Al, of -4, and it just, I mean, it's screaming trap to me, but I just can't understand for the life of me why New England isn't 6 or 7. I mean, to me, Buffalo is a dead piece. New England back to Wes Welker again. They must have watched the show last week where I told Belichick he needs to get him back in the offense. He has. I think that pays big dividends for New England. I like New England here, minus the points.
Welker, 8 catches, 142 yards last week at Baltimore. Tom Brady, another great game, 28 for 41, 335 yards. And you saw where Baltimore could not put any pressure at all, could not collapse the pocket on Brady, just left him back there. I know Buffalo went out. They tried to upgrade their defense, but they haven't generated much of a pass rush this season. I'm with you. It may look like a trap, but let's remember, even though the Patriots failed last week at Baltimore, this is still a team that's 21-8 against the spread after its last 29 straight-up losses. So history has certainly shown from a point spread perspective that the Patriots are the play, and plus they have dominated the series. They've won 16 of the last 17 meetings straight up, and they've gone 11-6-1 ATS in that stretch.
They own Buffalo. That's why I can't understand this line. It's just mind-boggling.
Right, and the Bills, big deal. They have 2 wins. They beat up Kansas City. They beat up Cleveland. They got drilled by the Jets. What does that tell you? And they've only covered 4 of their last 13 and AFC East division play. Steve, let's talk about the free contest we run in conjunction with DraftStreet.com. And every week you're playing against Steve and myself. It's a free fantasy football league contest that you can enter. But we've changed something this week. The prize money has gone up $300 to the winner of this contest. And the 4 runner-ups, you split up a $200 prize pool. And the best thing of all, it's a free entry. You're playing against us. You're playing among yourselves. It's at DraftStreet.com. If you're on the website watching the video right now, just click on the ads. You're putting together a team. You've got a $100,000 bankroll. And you've got to draft your players, and you've got to put together your team. A couple running backs, quarterbacks, couple wide receivers, etc. But unlike the old days, Steve, of fantasy football, where you had to wait till the end of December to figure out who won the money, this contest is over after the Monday night game.
That's the key, is that this is that instant gratification. Or our grandmother's game back in the day, you'd have to wait the whole year. Now it's week to week, and if you lose, you pay nothing because it's free. If you win, a guaranteed $300. The stakes are high. And here's the thing, if you entered last week, if you entered the week before, if you've been playing this contest for the last 3 years, you can enter again every single week and win that $300.
Last week, a guy by the screen name of AKA C-Dub won the contest, beat somebody else with the screen name of Nitty Gritty 77. There was a 10-point differential between first and second place. And the irony is they both drafted Robert Griffin III. They both had Michael Bush, the Bears' backup running back, who saw extensive action since Matt Forte was out. They both had Jamal Charles, and what a day they got from Jamal Charles as he ran for 223 yards against the Saints last week in that overtime win. But again, this week the prize money is up, and it's a free entry, guys. It costs you nothing to play. You're matching wits with us, but best of all, you're competing for my money. $500 prize pool, $300 guaranteed to the first place finisher, and then $200 guaranteed to be split up among winners 2, 3, 4, and 5, the runner-ups, the first 4 runner-ups in the prize pool. DraftStreet.com. Check it out. Steve, next game we want to talk about is going to be Atlanta and Carolina. Falcons, dominant performance last week at San Diego, rolling to the easy 27-3 win. They are another one of the 3-0 teams here so far this season. Carolina, horrific performance. I thought Carolina would go down. I thought the Giants were the play in that Thursday night contest. After the game, Cam Newton sulking, criticized by their wide receiver, Steve Smith. When one of your teammates calls you out for your performance and because of your sullen attitude afterwards, there's trouble brewing in this Carolina locker room.
Yeah, well, to use the words of the infamous Eminem, will the real Cam Newton please stand up? Please stand up, because I don't know who this guy in there is. It certainly isn't the Cam Newton that we saw last year. In fact, Al, when we started the season, I remember saying right at this desk that this year one of the themes was that I've never seen this many elite quarterbacks in the league in one season. But now I'm going to add to that, I've never seen this many elite quarterbacks play like garbage in one season. Cam Newton, one of them, but the bigger problem is they can't rush the passer. And if you don't rush Matty Ice, he's going to pick you apart all day, light you up like a Christmas tree. I think Atlanta goes through Carolina like a case of salmonella.
Listen, the Falcons, since Mike Ryan has come to town, 46-19 straight up in his starts. Falcons, very impressive because they came off a short week, the Monday night home game against Denver, traveled cross-country, and just dominated the Chargers in that game. And Ryan, for the season's completing 72% of his passes already. They held a Chargers team that has Phillip Rivers and a pretty decent offense to 280 total yards in that contest. You're right, the Panthers had no pass rush. It's why Eli Manning, despite missing 2 of his top 3 wide receivers, despite missing his top running back, just shredded that secondary. Their linebacker play was awful as well. Atlanta is 10-4-1 against the spread its last 15 games at home. They've won and covered 4 straight in this series. And listen, with Cam Newton, 2 matches against the Falcons last year, 5 interceptions, only 54% completions. They are not giving him any ground support with D'Angelo Williams or Jonathan Stewart. They're basically letting Newton do everything. You don't win that way in college football. Maybe in the Big 12, but not, in the NFL. You don't win that way, though, in the pros. It works in college. It's not going to work here. I agree with you. You got to go with a Falcons team averaging 31 points a game this season so far. San Francisco and the New York Jets, the 49ers looking to rebound after a loss at Minnesota. They decided to stay in Youngstown, Ohio, rather than travel back to the West Coast, fly back to the East Coast. They did the same thing last year, and it worked as they rallied from a big deficit to win at Philadelphia. I think Magic does strike twice here, and history repeats itself because the Jets, they were fortunate, lucky, extremely lucky to win 23-20 in overtime at Miami last week.
Yeah, for me, the Jets analysis remains the same. Again, week in and week out. This is a team built to beat mediocrity, can't beat an elite team, had their problems with Pittsburgh for obvious reasons. They're going to have their problems with San Francisco. Again, I look at this line, it opened up 3.5. It's at 4 now. It should be 6.5. I don't get it. I'm taking San Francisco here.
Yeah, 2 weeks ago, everybody was ready to anoint the 49ers as a Super Bowl champion, and now suddenly they're only a 4-point favorite against a Jets team that barely wins at Miami, gets hammered at Pittsburgh, and has covered just three of its last 11 line games.
And
Go figure.
Their best player. By the way, the countdown to Tim Tebow has begun. The Jets got about 3 more hard games left. They'll let Sanchez complete those. Then they'll bring Tebow in to win 6 easy ones, and he'll get all the press.
Well, I think the Jets lose this one. I think they lose next week against Houston at home as well. Darrelle Revis, your best player, as you noted, out. And I think San Francisco rolls in this contest. Guys, before we go any further, let me just remind you, you can save $20 off a single purchase today by simply using this coupon code when prompted in your shopping cart. And that is week 4. Doesn't get any easier than that, guys. WEEK and the number 4. Yeah, it really was a stretch. Had the rest really think hard about this one. Week 4, WEEK, and the number 4, no space between week and 4. You enter that when prompted, guys, and you will save $20 off a single purchase today. Remember, not just on this show, but check out my daily video reports every single day, because not only do I have free picks backed up by in-depth analysis, but also various money-saving discount coupon codes, special $5 play of the week promotions, the charity play of the week, free trial offers, all for free on my daily video report. Final game of this particular segment, Steve, is going to be San Diego and Kansas City. Chargers opened up at 1. It's pretty much pick 'em here everywhere. Chargers, as we noted, coming off the home loss to Atlanta. Kansas City rallying from a double-digit deficit to win at New Orleans, but that doesn't say much. You got 500 yards on the offense against that Saints defense.
Well, here's the 4-1-1. North Turner now 4-11 against the spread. When he's playing as a road favorite in the first half of the season. They got off to a quick start this year, back to their old tricks again last week. I think we'll see more of the same this week. I like Kansas City at home.
I agree with you. Listen, Kansas City has won the last 2 at home in this series, and this Chargers team did nothing against the Falcons, and that was playing at home. They don't have a consistent running game. Ryan Matthews really not into form yet. Kansas City has covered 5 of the last 6 in the series. I think the Chiefs are the play as well. Guys, this concludes part 1 of today's program. We're coming back. First game out of the box, Arizona and Miami and more. We're going to get to the Eagles-Giants as well in just a moment.